Hey everyone, I'm Kevin from Crystal Quest. Today, we're going to be programming our 5600 control head for our whole house water softener. Let's get into it. Hey guys, if you haven't already, go check out our video on how to install your control head onto the media tank and how to plumb it to the rest of the system. But today, we're going to be focusing on programming it. So we're going to go ahead and take out our power supply and plug it in. Before getting into programming, if at any point you want to restart, you can run your control head through a hard reset. First thing we're going to have to do is disconnect the power going to our control head, whether that's at the wall or at the side. Next, we're going to hold on the regenerate button while we plug our control head back in. While you're holding on the regenerate button, on the top left of your screen, you'll see an HR, which stands for your hard reset, and then a few dashes going through the middle. Once you let go, your hard reset is done. Now that our control head's plugged in, we're gonna go ahead and change the time to 12:01 p.m. And that's just a lockout so that you don't accidentally change any of the settings. To do this, you hold either the up or the down arrow key, and that'll change the time of day. And to lock the setting into place, you'll hit the regenerate button. Once the setting's locked into place, the screen will flash between the time of day and how many days until your next backwash cycle. Once you're at 12:01, you're gonna hold both the up and the down arrow keys for about 5 seconds until your first screen pops up. On the top left, it's gonna say DF, which stands for display format. The bottom left is gonna have a little pencil, which means you're editing the settings. And in the middle, you'll have two settings, which we will say GAL, that stands for gallon. And if you push the bottom arrow, you'll see LTR, which stands for liter. Today we're gonna select gallon because we're in the imperial format. The next screen that shows up on the top left will say VT, which stands for valve type. The first setting that appears will say DF1B, which stands for Downflow 1 Backwash. That's the standard setting that we're gonna use, but we can go through our other ones to see what else our control head can do. Our next setting says Downflow 2 Backwashes. That means we get an extra backwash between our Brine Fill and our rapid rinse. Our next setting is Filter, which is a normal downflow setting, but it will disable our Brine Draw and our Brine Fill. Our next setting is Upflow Brine Draw First. This is for high efficiency softeners and commercial systems, and this won't really apply to many whole house systems. Our next setting will be Upflow Filter. And like in the name, it's going to be the opposite of our downflow setting, where water will go down through the main riser and up across the media. And then Filter will disable our Brine Draw and our Brine Fill. Our next setting says Other, and this is for fully customizing your control head and won't really be used unless it comes pre-programmed by us. Our next setting will bring us back to Downflow Single Backwash, and this is the setting we're going to use because this is the standard setting for most whole house softeners. Our next setting says CT, which stands for Control Type. That's how our valve keeps track of how it's backwashing. The first setting on here is TC, which stands for Time Clock. This is the setting we're going to use for today, but we're going to go through the other ones to see what else we can do. FI stands for Flow or Metered Immediate. In this setting, your control head will be running with a flow meter attached to it, and once it reaches its fixed capacity, it'll go through its backwash cycle. FD stands for Flow or Metered Delayed, And this is just like the Flow Immediate, but it has to reach a time factor before it goes through its backwash. Our next setting will say day, and it's similar to TC, but instead of tracking by hour, you can track by days individually. And lastly, we'll cycle back through to our TC and select this setting. Our next screen on the top left will say NT, and that stands for the number of tanks. How many tanks are actually installed onto your control head? And it won't really apply unless you have a twin alternating system, which isn't an option available for your 5600, so we're gonna go ahead and just set it to 1. Your next screen says RT, which stands for its regeneration time. The key thing about this is you don't get any water production during its backwash, so you want to make sure it's backwashing at a time you won't need any water. It comes preset at about 2 a.m. and that's a good time to keep it because a backwash for a softener takes about an hour and a half. If you have other tanks in your line, you want to make sure you offset the backwash times also. So your softeners take about an hour and a half and your regular filters take about a half an hour. So if your first tank is set to regenerate at 2 a.m., the next one in line will be an hour and a half after at 3:30. This next screen says BW, and that stands for backwash. What this does is it'll change the flow of water through your tank to go down your main riser and up through the media, sending all of the water out the drain. We're gonna set this for 10 minutes and go to the next setting. The next cycle will say BD, or Brine Draw, and during this cycle, what your control head does is it draws a saltwater solution from your brine tank into the media. While this is happening, an ion exchange is occurring inside of the tank, releasing all the hardness off of your media and sending it out of your drain line. We're gonna set this for 60 minutes. Our next cycle will say RR, or rapid rinse. During this cycle, our control head goes back into normal operation where water will be coming down the media and up through the riser. But instead of coming out of your production line, all the water is going out of your drain to flush out any contaminants. We're gonna set this to 10 minutes and go to our next. Our last setting is gonna say BF, which will stand for our Brine Fill. And that's how long we're gonna have our control head send water back into our brine tank. This we're gonna set at about 12 minutes. Once you set your brine fill time, it'll take you back out to the home screen where it'll display the time of day and how many days left until your next regeneration. If you want to, go ahead and hold the regenerate button to manually start a regeneration cycle for your media tank. This will let any air inside of the tank out and make sure it's refreshed and ready to start filtering. Last step you want to make sure is you set it back to the correct time of day by holding either the up or the down arrow key until your time starts flashing. And then to lock it into place, you just tap on your regenerate button. And there you go. Thanks for watching. If there's any questions that you have that we didn't discuss in this video, feel free to leave a comment below, call us, or visit our website at crystalquest.com. Thank you.